Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year and a very warm welcome to this webinar on the Swiss access to Horizon Europe. Today, I finally get to say the sentence that many of us have been waiting for in the last 4 years. That is, Switzerland is back in Horizon Europe. It is confirmed and secured. Why are we here today? Well, because of what happened in Bern on 10th of November 2025, so a few months back. On that day, the Federal Councillor Guy Parmelin and the EU Commissioner Ekaterina Sarajeva signed the Switzerland-EU Program Agreement in Bern. This agreement associates Switzerland to Euratom and the Digital Europe program, but most important for us today, to Horizon Europe. And this with retroactive effect from 1st of January 2025, so almost more than 1 year ago, actually. Now, this is not just a signature on paper. It's an important step for our researchers and innovators in Switzerland to fully contribute with our European colleagues to the excellence of science and innovation on the continent. For you, as a researcher, an innovator, or an administrator, this means that Swiss organizations are again on the same footing as entities in the European member states. You can lead consortia, you receive funding directly from the EU, and you take part in all main pillars and instruments of Horizon Europe, starting from the 2025 work program, but of course with the 2026-2027 work program too. That's a big shift from the uncertainty of recent years. And it's exactly why we are here together today to transform this wonderful news into concrete opportunities for you, for your projects, for your institution, and for your network. My name is Francesco Kinsley, and I am the director of the eResearch Network, and I have the pleasure of kicking off the session today. This webinar is designed to be interactive, so please don't hesitate to ask a question through the Q&A panel that you find on the top of this window. eResearch is here to help you. What is eResearch? eResearch is a network of offices all over Switzerland. So there is always a eResearch advisor close to you, and many of them are here with us today. We are funded by the Swiss State Secretariat for Education, Research and Innovation. Our mandate is to inform you about Horizon Europe, to advise you on how to identify the right call and prepare a strong proposal, and to connect researchers based in or coming to Switzerland with counterparts in Europe. Today, we will provide you with detailed information on the changes to Switzerland status in relation to Horizon Europe. Joining us today are our thematic specialists, and also known as the national contact points, the advisors from the regions, and last but not least, our colleague from the State Secretariat for Education, Research and Innovation. And we have the pleasure to have with us today Masha Zurbriggen, who is the head of International Research and Innovation Programs. And with that, I close the introductory part and hand over to my colleague, Tim Llewellyn, who will guide you through the practical information and today's agenda. Tim, please.
Thanks, Francesco. So I'll just quickly go through some practical information so everything runs smoothly. First, your microphones and cameras are switched off, but we'd still like to hear from you. You can post your questions using the Q&A function. This you can find in the Teams navigation bar at the top, just next to the chat icon. You can type your questions at any time during the presentations. We will collect them and address as many as possible in a dedicated Q&A session after the main presentations. The slides of today's presentations will be recorded and made available after the webinar via email. The Q&A, however, will not be recorded. So here is today's agenda. We will start with a status update from Masha Zurbriggen from CERI on Switzerland's participation in Horizon Europe. After that, Nicole Natia, our national contact point for legal and finance, will guide you through practical implications for Swiss applicants. She will explain what associated country means in contractual terms, what it changes for your proposals, and what to watch out for. Then we'll move on to a Q&A session where we'll address your questions you have entered into the Q&A box or otherwise sent to us. Finally, I'll come back with some quick closing remarks, a brief reminder of EuroResearch's services, and a look at our upcoming events that may be relevant for you. We aim to finish on time at 2 o'clock or earlier. I will now pass over to Masha from CERI, who will say a few words on the status of Switzerland in Horizon Europe.
Thank you very much, Tim. Also, thank you very much to Francesco for the very comprehensive introduction. Many things have already been said. The program agreement has been signed in November by Zaharieva and Parmela in Bern. From that day on, Switzerland was considered retroactively associated to Horizon Europe, the Digital Europe program and the Euratom program, and as of the 1st January of 26, we are now also can participate again to ITER, which means that we have now a full participation to what we call the Horizon Package 2021 till 27. The agreement also contains a protocol for the association to Erasmus+. However, in contrast to the Horizon package, the Parliament did not adopt the funding of Erasmus+ yet. Therefore, we will only know in the second half of this year whether we will be able to associate to Erasmus in the year 27 or not. So I cannot give you more information on that. As for our status now, you can, or Swiss actors in research and innovation can submit their proposal as beneficiaries. And actually they do have to submit if they want to have funding. I really want to emphasize here that CERI has absolutely no legal basis to provide any direct funding for calls of 25 onwards. We have no legal basis to pay the contribution to the EU and at the same time directly fund projects or sign new contracts. Let me call it like that. So again, it is absolutely crucial that you now submit as beneficiaries and not as associated partners. It's a bit a pain, this terminology, but it is as it is. And however, for the direct funding 21 till 24, nothing changes. So if you already have a contract with CERI from a call 21 till 24, you will keep that funding from CERI. The contract will go on until the end of the project, so nothing changes there. It's really from the calls 25 onwards that you really have to submit as beneficiaries, but I think this will be said many times ahead. Also, we received the happy news late in December that Switzerland is eligible to all strategic calls in Cluster 4 that fall under the Article 22.5. So quantum related, also space related, AI related, some are a bit cybersecurity related, you're eligible there. And everything that falls under Article 22.5, you can submit your proposals also in the calls 26 and also 27. So this is already done. And then finally, a question that often comes nowadays, while we are very happy that we are finally associated to Horizon Europe and the other programs. Of course, the question already comes, what happens if there is a referendum on the entire package, or how it is called now, bilateral 3, and if the Swiss people vote no? We cannot really say at the moment what happens, because it all depends on the time point that the vote will be. As soon as we know the date, SERI will provide the Federal Council with the best possible scenario, how to opt out basically of the agreement. But what we all have to be aware is of the fact that if the Swiss people vote no to the bilateral 3, they directly, indirectly also vote no to the program. So the Federal Council cannot simply say, okay, we continue our association to Horizon Europe, but only consider the no to the other elements of the package. So this cannot be, it's an entire package, and it's considered also in the vote. And I think with that, I'm just going to close and be very happy to take any questions to clarify points afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Masha. So I will take over. As Tim mentioned at the beginning, by explaining more in practical terms what this means for you, applicant. So once again, the association to Horizon Europe of Switzerland means that now we are formally an associated country. This is the terminology used by the European Commission, which means that you must apply in the role of beneficiary if you wish to receive any funding from any source. This also means that with the role of beneficiary, you are able again to coordinate projects. That was not possible before, because only those entities signing the grant agreement with the Commission may be coordinators. And finally, by applying in the role of beneficiary, you will get the funding from the European Commission or any other European agency that is managing your project. Here you see a screenshot from the SERI website where you have the whole story from the origins of Horizon Europe till today. So what happened with the association. To put it in more simple and short words, basically, we are finally in the last step for the association. The association has been finalized, and you can apply to Horizon Europe in general as a beneficiary. Of course, as Masha said, the Article 22.5 has been sorted out for Switzerland, so we are eligible. However, again, make sure you always read carefully the conditions of each call, because regardless of strategic areas or not, there might be calls that are limited to certain list of countries, such as member states. What are the effects of this association? As mentioned, the association has a retroactive effect from 1st of January 2025, meaning that any project that was submitted under the Work Program 2025, which has therefore an ID with 2025 in it, will be signed by the European Commission. So the beneficiaries, so the Swiss will be included as beneficiaries and will sign the grant agreement with the European Commission. For what concerns the new work program, obviously, here there are no questions anymore whether the association is finalized or not. Now it's clear, so go ahead, check all the new open calls and apply safely in the role of beneficiary. In this role, therefore, you must request your budget share to the European Commission. Therefore, your budget will be added to the others beneficiaries' budget and will be provided by the European Commission. Here is a short overview of what is the difference from what was the status till now as associated partner and what it's going to be now for you as a beneficiary. As you see, you have always active role in the project. The main two differences are the fact that you are signing the grant agreement with the Commission and not anymore with SERI, and you are able to coordinate projects. On a final note, don't be afraid whenever you see an error message while applying to with the submission of a proposal. This could be that you will be flagged with this message for the fact that maybe your country is not yet part of the associated countries. This is only a technical problem. It's not blocking your proposal submission, and it's not going to influence the evaluation of your proposal. So you can ignore this message, and in case you are required to submit a text to justify this statement, you can simply refer to the fact that Switzerland is now an associated country as of 1st of January 2025. And finally, here a few links that may be of use to you. The ones from the SERI website that are dedicated to Horizon Europe and its association, including also their Q&As. And from our side, our fact sheet on Swiss participation in Horizon Europe, more information on a dedicated webpage, and the references to each thematic area of the program.